Okay, Maggie, just ending your retreat with Kim, Seasons of Surrender, and how are you feeling?
I feel lighter.
Mm-hmm.
I feel full. I feel refreshed and renewed.
Awesome. What were some of the highlights of the experience for you?
I think coming in, I was a little bit apprehensive, but I think the connections, the realizations that I made for the first time in 65 years about my life and about what was keeping me from being all that I could be is something that I still have to sit with for a while, but it was amazing.
Would you mind sharing just one of those, like specifically?
I think finding out how my upbringing and my place in the family has affected the rest of my life, and how I now have the power to change that dynamic.
What's one thing that you're going to go home and do?
I think I'm just going to go home and let go of a lot of things. I think things I've planned for my life were based on the limitations I had given myself. And I'm going to push those limitations aside.
And what would you say to somebody who might be curious about working with Kim, but not sure, maybe doesn't know her very well? What do you really value, and what would you share with them?
I think I value her insight, the safety that she creates, the place of trust, and the fears that I had about being with a group of women that I didn't know, and how she has the magic that's necessary to get to the core where we're all the same.
And what's the most exciting thing for you now coming away from this weekend?
I have a dream that I'm going to realize. I have the tools, I have the support, I have the love, and I have the determination to do something that I thought I knew I wanted to do and I knew was possible, but now I see it in the very near future.
Awesome. Thank you, Maggie.
You're welcome.
Okay, so Mickey, you just finished Kim's retreat, Seasons of Surrender, and I'm curious to hear what you're coming away with.
I am coming away with a whole new perspective on femininity. Honestly, I came into this and I just knew from the energy of Kim that I wanted to be a part of it, and I didn't know what to expect. And I really got to see, 6, 7 different perspectives on living in this world in the feminine body, and how the divine feminine, divine masculine is within all of us and has just been sometimes repressed, sometimes expressed, and all the areas that we wish to grow that. For me personally, as a fairly feminine appearing woman, I got to really acknowledge that I've been living a lot in my own masculine, and through the vulnerability and sharing of other women, got to see how how difficult it is for me to be vulnerable and to seek support, and it kind of gave me a starting point for being able to start asking for that, or seeing it and expressing it, and to be able to receive more from a more open and trusting space.
Can you talk about a specific thing that came up for you that you're going to go do something about now?
Yes.
Or that you've already done?
So one of the things that came up for me is that I have had a pattern of choosing work that isn't in my highest alignment, and that has been sometimes a source of pain for me. And I was going through a process of that while I was here, and through the collective was able to get the courage to really allow my inner child to speak up about that and be seen in a very vulnerable way, and make a decision that I think is going to alter my life path. Specifically, I withdrew my application for a job that I was about to be offered that would have been very secure and provide all those things we look for: security, benefits, retirement. And I'm leaving actually really excited, because if I let that go, I'm open to unlimited possibilities. And I've got a really great support group to help me trust that and to explore it and to let myself just kind of rise into that, out of that.
What would you say to somebody who maybe doesn't know Kim very well, is kind of curious but doesn't know what the heck's going to happen? What would you say to that person?
Oh, okay.
Honestly, like,
Okay.
what would you say?
All right. Well, one thing, okay, this is just an aside, but we were totally overfed at this event, and it was a total accident, and it was the most nurturing, wonderful thing. So that's an aside. But Kim is solid as a rock. Like, she is comfortable in her own skin, and she creates a safe environment that allows you to explore and challenge yourself. And she doesn't allow you to back off from yourself. Like, she's very supportive, loving, and direct, and it allows you to be courageous with yourself in that way. She's got a lot of experience and knows how to hold a safe container, and allows the flow. She's got a trust in the flow, and when you get women together, things just kind of magically happen. People take care of each other. People take care of what needs to be done, and by following the flow and her facilitating some of our conversations and activities, I think we all got to own part of it, and so therefore we were all able to get out of it what we needed to. So I think if anyone is looking forward to doing a retreat like this, it's a really great place to feel safe, nurtured, challenged, and those are all kinds of the things you need if you want to expand. If you want to expand, you need the challenge, and you need, to push yourself, but in a safe place where you can be vulnerable. And I think that's what you could experience if you did a retreat with Kim.
Mm-hmm. And this last question is kind of more personal to you because I've been here with you.
Yeah.
What brings you the most joy at this point leading this retreat?
The most joy about the retreat?
Well, just anything. Like your thing was joy. You really want joy in your life. So like, what feels really joyful right now?
Oh, that's a great question. What feels joyful to me right now is possibility. The unknown, expansion, the excitement of some freedoms. Freedoms to create, freedoms to re-engage my creative side, my love of travel, and relationship. A lot of those things have been kind of set aside, and I feel excited about and re-energized about those things. Instead of feeling like, oh, those things were in the past, it's feeling really exciting again for me.
Yay! Thank you so much, Mickey.
Thank you.
So, Carol, you're just ending the retreat with Kim, Seasons of Surrender, and I'm curious to hear about your experience. What's one thing that you're coming away with that's like different that you didn't come with?
Well, I have a lot of appreciation for the whole experience. It was quite a spectrum. One thing would be I really felt an internal peace that came over me within an inner struggle between an egoic self and a true identity that really goes back to like my childhood of what my femininity really is, and there's an inner battle that just like got dropped over this weekend through some of the work, and it just feels really good.
Awesome. And what brought you here? Why were you attracted to this?
Multiple reasons. I love Kim's energy. I was new to meeting her and working with the group, and I wanted to know more. I really felt an energetic call when she put out the message, and of course it doesn't suck to be in New Hampshire in October, so that was a big pull as well. And but it did just feel like there was a pull and a calling, and the ego tried to come in and say why I couldn't do it with the money and timing and whatever, and all of those just fell away, and so it was the thing to do.
What was a highlight or a favorite moment from the weekend?
Oh my gosh, so much laughter and fun. I mean, there were some deep moments, but I think it's some of the more spontaneous, just synergy around the women and laughing about some of the food and being able to laugh at ourselves and some of the, seeing some of the patterns and laughing at them rather than judging them. That just felt so good and light, and permission to look at all that in a comfortable, trusting way.
And what's one thing that you're going to do coming out of this retreat? Like what's an action that it has inspired?
Well, there's a dream that something that's been wanting to emerge out of me, or something I feel like I've been wanting to birth for years, and which I'm gonna keep kind of under veil. You don't need to know that, but I've sort of found some of the blocks, and I feel like they've lessened, and I feel very what's the right word? Unencumbered in making a commitment to the discipline to. I've hit the hard part with it many times and dropped it, and I don't feel like it's going to be hard from here on out.
Nice. So you're going to be putting in some structures for discipline?
Yes.
Awesome.
And I don't feel resistance against it, because that piece sort of, I think, got healed or released and got permission, lots of things. So many layers, it's hard to put it in a summary, but good stuff.
And lastly, for people who don't really know Kim or might be kind of curious but not sure what this is, what it's about, what's going to happen, what would you say to those people honestly about why it might be for them or why it might not?
Well, I think, you can say the standard answer of, like, on paper, Kim is amazing. She has a background in so many things and healing work and all of that, and is such a competent, accomplished woman throughout her whole career, and it's varied, and you can look all that up, and that's great. And the other side, which is really the part that pulled me, is that she's doing this work. She is healing herself through opening space to heal others. And that's more powerful than anything for me as far as my own healing. I want someone who's doing it with me, and Kim likes to say she's not afraid of the messy middle, and she's not, and she's willing to, learn and hold your hand and or let you go depending on what you need. And she's just a real intuitive way of doing that. And you feel like you have permission to sort of fall apart and do these things with her, because she's doing it, and it's not from this place of she's the leader, the boss, or the authority. It's like we're doing this together. So that's what I love about Kim.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Carol. So Lauren, you're just finishing Kim's retreat, Seasons of Surrender, and I'm curious to hear about your experience. You want to tell us about like a highlight for you from this retreat?
Highlight. Letting go of any expectations of fear, because fear is my glitch. And immediately when I came here, I was welcomed, I felt comfortable, I felt resonated with all of the members, and that was unexpected and joyful.
And can you talk about a specific dream that came up for you, or anything you want to share around that, what you're doing with that?
My dream that I chose to focus on was wanting to live at the beach. It's been a dream I've had my whole life. And the questions that were prompted made me think out my box, because my box has always been, I want to live at the beach, I can't afford to, it's not going to happen. And now I have a plethora of opportunities to look at and see, and because of it, I'm probably going to go in a week or two and try and do an Airbnb down by the beach and see if it speaks to me in the winter as well as in the summertime. So that was very eye-opening.
Awesome. And can you talk a little bit about what was special for you in this environment and in this context?
Sure. I'm not a mountain person, and yet as soon as I got here, it was so serene and so calm and so peaceful and large enough that you felt like you had space, and yet small enough that you felt welcomed and comfortable. And so that surprised me, because again, I'm not a mountain person, I'm a beach person, but I felt very comfortable here and very wanted to go out. I still did my grounding, 42 degrees. I go out every day I didn't do my half hour, but I just felt like, to use a term that I never use, God's country. So I enjoyed that.
And what would you tell people who don't know Kim so well? What would you tell them about working with her, why they might want to or might not want to?
Okay,
What
I have
insight do you
probably a different experience than most people. I've worked with Kim for over a year, for about a year actually. There's nothing I've ever said to Kim that I felt I was ever going to be reproached at. I just always felt like it was safe, and I always felt she prodded me to look further than where I was going. So if I wanted to go to A, she was going to present B, C, D, and E. And so it's been a year of growth, a lot of growth because of Kim.
And because you worked with her one-on-one for a while, what was different about the retreat? I'm curious.
I was a little cautious about the rest of the group because I don't think they have the same experience with Kim as I have. They know her from different locations. So I didn't know if one was a friend of hers. Well, that friend's going to be different. And I didn't feel that. Everybody was the same, everybody was equal, everybody was welcoming, and she made sure everybody was part of the group. And there wasn't an entity. I didn't feel my typical outsider. One of my scripts is, I will never be part of the group. I will never be welcome. And I didn't feel that here.
Any last thing you want to highlight about this experience for other people?
If I could do it 15 more times, I would. Because I can't say enough good things about it. I can't say enough growth and happiness and peace and things knocked down and knocked away and pushed away so that I could emerge in my happiness.
Thank you so much, Lauren.
Thank you.
Hi, it's Kim. We just wrapped 4 days at Lake Sunapee, New Hampshire, and it's too soon for me to even be able to process in my mind all the wonderful, juicy things that happen. But I wanted to touch bases and say, if you have an opportunity to get away, go. Absolutely go. If something excites you and scares you at the same time, that's all the more reason to take the leap and get outside your comfort zone and try something new. You might really be surprised. I know I was. And one person commented, and I will share this with you, that coming in, it was a woman, this was a woman who was introverted, and coming in, she was stressed out because she just didn't know how much energy, if she really had the energy for this retreat. 4 days with women she doesn't know, with all of her preconceived ideas about what it's like to be around a bunch of women, and what she didn't see coming in, but that she identified going out, was the energy she was going to gain from being around a room full of women coming from all over and different viewpoints and embracing. Another woman said, I felt safe the whole time. For me, mission accomplished. I love you. And I'm exhausted. So, take a deep breath, catch a sunset somewhere, and I'll be back on grid in a few days. Bye-bye. Does this mean you're
I can never leave now.